Hello, sixth graders. We are continuing our read of Granted. And what can we say except Ophelia has found herself in a gigantic predicament. And now she has a dog that has located her, and she's talking to the dog because fairies have the ability to communicate with other beings and animals. And the dog is befriending her, and it sounds like the dog has had a pretty difficult life. And I'm not sure if he is understanding that yet. So we're picking it up. The bottom of page 146, I'm going to pick up with a couple of paragraphs, that we've already read, and we'll continue. The dog was still panting next to her. He obviously didn't have anywhere pressing to be. "Do you have a name?" he asked. "Or do I just call you broken thing that is not a bird and doesn't play chase and doesn't taste very good?" "My name is Fidgets," she grunted. "Ophelia Delphinium Fidgets. I'm a fairy." Oh, he didn't seem too impressed. He'd probably never met a fairy before or even heard of them. "My name is Dog. Stupid dog. I am a dog." Ophelia squinted at him. "That can't be your name," she said, even though she called him pretty much the same thing only moments ago. "Oh no, I have lots of names. You can pick the one you like best. You can call me Useless or Mangy Mutt or Worthless Son of a..." Ophelia put both hands up. "Okay, all right, I get it. Lots of names. How about I just call you..." She stopped to think. She was no founder. She never had to name anything in her life. She looked around the alley and spotted an empty crate that once held something called Samuel Adams Boston Lager. "How about I just call you Sam?" Sam slapped his tail against the pavement. "Oh, I like that. I like that name very much." "I'm glad. Now listen, Sam. I'd love to stay and talk, but I'm on a very important mission. There's something I've got to try to track down." At the word track, Sam's ears perked. Oh yes, I can help you," he said. "Master says that is the only thing I am good at." Ophelia didn't doubt it. Not the only thing part, but he was obviously good at annoying people and licking them when they didn't want it. But the other part. She'd read somewhere that dogs were excellent trackers with a tremendous sense of smell. But that wouldn't help her. You can't sniff out a wish. "Maybe some things, but not this," she said. "Is it a cat?" "No, it's not a cat," Ophelia answered. "Is it a bird?" "It's not a bird either." "Is it a rat?" "What? I just told you it wasn't a cat. It's a wish, okay?" "Oh, a wish. I can track a wish," Sam said emphatically. "Do you even know what a wish is?" Ophelia asked. "No, but it sounds delicious. Can you eat it?" "No, you can't eat it." She supposed you could swallow the nickel if you wanted, easier than a quarter at least. Knowing what little she knew of Sam already, she guessed he might try. "Wishes aren't like other things. They don't have smells. You can't eat them or sniff them or lick them. You can only grant them. I lost one. And if I don't find it soon, there could be serious trouble." Sam whimpered. "That's bad," he said. "What's bad?" "Being lost," he answered. Ophelia forced a smile. She was starting to put his story together now. No tags, no collar, abused, and then abandoned probably. Or maybe he ran away. If she was a whisperer, she might know what to say. If she was a mender, maybe. She would take a look at the scratches and bruises and do something to make them better. But she was a granter. And even if dogs could make wishes, which they can't, Sam's wish wouldn't be hers to grant. What little magic she had wasn't meant for him. "I'm sorry, Sam. I'd love to stay and chat," she lied, "but I really have to go." She turned back toward the street, figuring she would head off in the direction she had seen the white car go, hoping to follow the thread of the whisper. It would take forever. walking instead of flying. But along the way, she might think of something, a way to fix her wing perhaps, or a way to travel faster. Until then, she could do little more than put one foot in front of the other. There was still time. It wasn't completely hopeless. She still had the dust, still had a canister of spray, provided this one worked, still had her training to rely on, still had that moist, rotten-smelling breath on the back of her neck. Ophelia whirred around, coming nose to snout with the dog. "What are you doing?" she growled. Sam wagged his tail emphatically. "I'm following you," he said. "It is like chase, but less fun because you are not going very fast at all." "I know you're following me." "Why are you following me?" "Because you are broken and lost, and I licked you, so now we are friends." Ophelia groaned and shook her head. She considered explaining that that's not how it worked. You don't just lick people and hope they will like you. In fact, probably just the opposite. "We aren't friends, Sam. I'm a fairy. You're a dog. We have absolutely nothing in common." That wasn't true, of course. As soon as it came out of her mouth, she realized it. In fact, this dog and she probably had more in common than she wanted to admit. They were both obviously on their own. They'd both seen better days. They could both stand to eat something, preferably not lying dead on the side of the road. But the last thing she needed was something else to worry about, something else to distract her from her assignment. And this mutt was obviously a distraction. "I am Sam, and you are Ophelia. You are tracking a wish, but you are broken. I am a good tracker. I will help you to track your here it comes." The dog dropped to his hunches, his back paw shooting up, desperately trying to reach a spot behind his right ear. As he clawed for it, he growled and moaned at the same time, the same word over and over. "Itchy, itchy, 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 itchy." Ophelia rolled her eyes. "You've got to be kidding me," she whispered to herself. "Okay, just bend down," she said. To her surprise, Sam followed orders, his belly hitting the ground. His snout so close to her she could feel the warm air from his nostrils on her face. She circled around his muzzle, careful not to get too near the teeth. She'd never been this close to an animal before, unless you counted the kestrels and warblers who often confused fairies for their own kind and tried to get fresh with them back in the treetops. If Sam suddenly decided that Ophelia would make a good snack or a chew toy, he could easily twist his head and have her in his jaws before she could react. But he lay as still as she reached up with both hands, planting them in thick tufts of blonde fur behind his ears. "Oh, yes. Scratch, 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 itchy, itchy, scratch." His back leg started to thump. "I'm getting it, all right," Ophelia huffed. She dug in with all 10 fingers as he begged for her for a minute more. Then she wiped her hands on the front of her pants, trying to get the dog stink off. "There. I scratched your stupid ear. Now will you leave me alone?" "Oh, I can't leave you alone now," Sam said. "Now you are definitely my friend." Oh, Havens, what had she done? Ophelia had friends she wanted to tell him. A bunch of friends, well, a few of them at least, waiting for her back at the Haven. She didn't need another. "You are my new best friend, and I will help you find your wish," Sam reiterated. "Yeah, but see, I don't want your help," Ophelia said forcefully. "This is going to be hard enough for me to do without also having to drag you along and stop every time you see something you want to sniff or eat or talk to. I'm moving slow enough already, so this is it, okay? Goodbye." Ophelia waved behind her and continued down the alley. She had almost reached the street when suddenly her feet left the pavement. She was flying, actually flying, except her wings were still folded against her back, one of them half in tatters. She felt the tug of her uniform pulled taut in the back, the collar nearly choking her, then something wet in her hair and something fuzzy trickling the back of her neck. "What are you doing?" she screamed. "I'm wearing it in my mouth," Sam replied through clenched teeth. "You're drooling all over me." She could feel it dripping down her back. "Put me down." She dropped suddenly. It was only a few inches, but it took her by surprise, and she collapsed to her knees. Sam looked at her with cocoa-colored eyes. "Of all the wood-headed, dim-witted creatures I could have possibly run into," she started to say, but she stopped herself. It wasn't just the hurt look on Sam's face that gave her pause, though that was part of it. It was something else. An idea. A way to cover ground faster and maybe avoid being seen, or not be seen as much, at least. It wasn't a great idea, and she was pretty sure that the other fairies back at Grant Tower would frown on it, but hairy times sometimes called for hairy measures. All right, Sam, do you really want to help me? Ophelia asked. Oh, yes, I do. I really do. Ophelia sighed, still not sure what she was getting into. All right, then, she said, lie down. And whatever you do, do not lick me again. So we're going to stop there. Chapter 25, page 154. Begin there tomorrow. Thanks so much, sixth graders. Have a really good evening, okay? Take care. Bye-bye.